Hello, everyone. This is Mike History 2, and welcome to Season 1 finale of What If the Ottomans Were Christian? Because, yes, there will be a Season 2. So, I know I've said this in all the videos in this collab, but especially for this one, you have to watch the previous video, or else you will not understand the context for what I'm about to say. Because right now, we are covering how a Christian Ottoman Empire would affect the Napoleonic Wars and how Napoleon comes into power, how the French Revolution turns out, how the French Revolutionary Wars go. All those things are covered in the previous video, part 6 on Julius Caesar's channel. So go watch it. After all, he's in the collab anyways, but especially if you want to understand what's going on here. Alright, have you done so? I hope you did, because otherwise the rest of this won't make that much sense. The year is 1805, and a new anti-French coalition is formed, which is even bigger than last time. Austria, the United Kingdom, Spain, Portugal, Russia, the Ottomans, and Naples have all ganged up together. However, facing them is France, which is also stronger, having conquered the Netherlands, Switzerland, northern Italy, and are now allied with the new Qajar dynasty in Persia. Now, the time is set to show who is the real Roman emperor. France, led by Napoleon César, or Napoleon Caesar, or the Ottomans, who, by virtue of their conquest of the Eastern Roman Empire, also claim to be Roman emperors. Well, Napoleon decides to cross the Rubicon, quite literally, because he literally does cross the Rubicon in Italy, and attacks and conquers Rome, which emboldens him even more and gives him prestige as the true Roman emperor. However, Napoleon being Napoleon, he doesn't just stop there. He invades Egypt, but this time he installs a puppet Coptic Egyptian state, and to add insult to injury, he makes Jerusalem the capital of the newly independent Egypt. So now, the Ottomans, who for so long have been the foremost, in a way, crusading state, a bastion against Islam, the successor to the Roman Empire, now have been dethroned as Roman emperors by this new French upstart, and have even lost control of the holiest city in Christianity. And of course, they will not forget this easily. 2 years later, in exchange for the alliance, Napoleon creates a puppet Arabian Muslim state that controls Mecca and Medina. Yes, you heard that right. Not only have the Ottomans now lost Jerusalem, but through Napoleon's incredible invasions, he has also set up a Muslim ally that controls the two holiest sites in Islam, finally returning these two holy cities to the Muslims after 290 years under Christian occupation. Now, Poland is looking around and uses the chaos to declare independence, since it feels threatened by Sweden, Prussia, Russia, and Austria, who, mind you, are all in this coalition against Napoleon. However, in 1809, France successfully defeats the Second Coalition, earning its place as the dominant European power. Now, of course, the rest of the Europeans are not going to let this upstart new Caesar just roam around their continent, taking over all their allies and overturning all their institutions. And just 1 year later, in 1810, a third coalition against France is formed, this time consisting of Austria, the United Kingdom, Russia, Naples, Sicily, Prussia, the Ottomans, and Sweden, and they all declare war. Poland fights alongside France in the name of independence. The Netherlands, Italy, Bavaria, Etruria, Arabia, and Egypt are all French vassals and have no choice but to join the war. The war drags on for many years, but in 1814, despite all odds, France wins the war and actually conquers Naples. It also forces the Holy Roman Empire to dissolve on the anniversary of the death of Charlemagne on January 28th, bringing the 1,000-year-old, well, I guess it would be 1,014-year-old empire to its end. Now, the Ottomans do not want Napoleon to strip them of their title as Roman Emperor as well, so they agree to make a forced alliance with France. However, Napoleon arrogant as he is, betrays the Ottomans and attempts to conquer Constantinople itself in 1815, and this is his undoing. He launches his invasion from Egypt during the spring and marches across the Levant and Syria during the summer. The Ottomans use a scorched earth policy and destroy all the wells. Napoleon's army starts dying of drought and heat. Also, half of his army isn't French and they have low morale, so they slowly start deserting. Napoleon finally reaches Constantinople during the heat of summer, with only half his army still intact. He meets the Ottoman army outside the walls of Constantinople. And there, at last, he soon overpowers them with his disciplined and experienced army, weakened as they are. Right as victory is about to happen, the Russian Cossacks come charging in and save the Ottomans from a nearly certain defeat. In fact, Napoleon is even captured during the battle and is actually taken prisoner and sent to Crete. And this, my friends, is the true end of Napoleon. But against all odds, Napoleon escapes Crete and comes back to lead his demoralized men in one final attack. The men are so inspired that the new Caesar has not only led their army this far to the new Rome, but even after capture and exile, he still came back. They are so inspired that they breach the walls against all expectations and successfully take the city. And now Napoleon is truly the uncontested European leader. He controls Rome. He controls the new Rome, Constantinople. He controls Jerusalem, and he also controls Mecca and Medina. And truly, nobody can stop him now. In the Hagia Sophia, Napoleon officially declares himself the new Roman emperor and the high priest of the new Roman Church, which will combine the Catholicism of Western Europe, the Orthodoxy of Eastern Europe, and the Protestantism of Northern Europe, and the Coptic religion of East Africa to create a completely new, unified Christian church, one church under one new Roman Empire. Now, this was too far. This outrages all of his troops regardless of denomination. Catholics accuse him of making himself the new pope. The Orthodox are outraged that he is in their holy church, and the Protestants refuse to have a spiritual leader telling them what to do. This leads to a conspiracy named the New Crusaders, who want to restore Christianity from Napoleon's usurpation. Now, of course, the conspirators will have different motives. Bernadotte is angry that Napoleon slept with his wife. Some are monarchists who want the Bourbons back. Some are tired of Napoleon's endless wars. Some are offended by Napoleon's new religion. But they all work together and decide to kill Napoleon at his official coronation on March 15th as the new Roman emperor right back in Rome. Now, right as Napoleon grabs the crown from Bernadotte's hand and is about to proclaim the new Roman Empire after almost 1.5 millennia of it no longer existing, Bernadotte and Murat pull out their knives and proceed to stab Napoleon 23 times in the heart. On the very same day, Julius Caesar, the man who Napoleon tried to become, died. Napoleon's last words being, "Et tu, Bernadotte?" This is the end of the Napoleonic era. Bernadotte and Murat now proclaim that France is once again a monarchy and invite Louis XVIII to become king. The shock of Napoleon's death immediately spreads around Europe, and everyone gangs up on France. The fourth and final coalition is created, which includes the United Kingdom, Prussia, Austria, Russia, Denmark, Sardinia, Sicily, Sweden, Switzerland, and the Ottomans. Netherlands, Portugal, and Spain all declare independence and their monarchs return. France's only allies left are Arabia and the Qajar dynasty, since they don't want to return under Christian/Ottoman control. And so how does this war go? In the Iberian front, the United Kingdom, Spain, and Portugal, with the returned monarchs, push back the French out of Iberia. They begin the largest amphibious invasion of history in Gibraltar in April, storming the entrenched French defenders there in a battle that goes down in history. From there, they're able to then liberate the peninsula. In August, an offensive into Catalonia, which had been annexed by France, begins. Now let's move on to the Italian front, where on the first day of the year the Spanish and Portuguese land in Sicily. Between January and April 1816, the Austrians advancing from the north and the Spanish and Portuguese from the south slowly conquer land. However, once they reach Rome, the Napoleonic faction, having fought so hard to recreate the Roman Empire, will defend the capital to the death, which slows down the coalition forces. On April 11th, Rome is taken as the last French troops die defending the Colosseum. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, Russia plays a primary role in liberating the people of Turkey and reconquer Jerusalem on May 9th, which is thought of worldwide as the victory day for Christianity. By the end of July, Egypt had been fully reconquered by the Ottomans. In 1816, Arabia switches sides to preserve its independence. And finally, the front you're probably all looking forward to, the Central European Front, where in September an offensive by the Prussians, Austrians, Swedes, Poles, and Russians began, and they liberate Germany by October, slowly moving west. The Netherlands is freed in November, and Switzerland was freed in January 1816. So what happens after that? Well, you're going to have to watch Julius's new video to find out. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. This was really fun. This is my favorite part of the scenario so far. So definitely don't forget to like, subscribe, share. I'll see you all next time.